Now, I've got a soft spot in my heart for people under 30 because I started when I was 22, about to turn 23 years old. I know what it's like to feel insecure. I know what it's like to not know what to say to a 40-year-old who you think knows all the answers, and all of us 40-plus-year-olds realize we don't have any of the answers anyway. Might as well listen to some 20-something kid versus listening to the person sitting in the cubicle next to you complain about their lean cuisine, you know. Dang it, orange chicken again. So, what I thought we would do, we did this last year for the first time. It was such a big hit, I thought we'd bring it back again. We have a group of 6 under 30 rising stars in the network marketing profession. Please give them a big round of applause, and I'll introduce them as they get out here. Come on out, guys. Mr. Brad Elkazan, Hayden and Emily Vavra, Joe Valenzuela, Nikolai Rude, and Danian Fryer. Well done. Have a seat, everybody. We have a variety of incomes and a variety, you can spread out a little bit if you're a little tight, a variety of incomes and a variety of experience levels. Some of you are pretty new. Well, none of you can be like 20-year veterans. It would be hard, wouldn't it, if you're under 30. But why don't you each quickly introduce yourselves and tell everybody where you're from. You know, we don't talk about company names, of course, but where you're from and what your journey has been like in a summary form, 60 seconds or less. Start here.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Daniel Fryer. I'm 29 years old. I'm originally from Germany. I recently moved to Dubai. I just love that place. For everybody who asks why, it's just beautiful. I started in my current company 4 years ago. I generally found network marketing when I was 17. I fell in love with it. I've never been a skeptic. I've always seen the dream. Like in the first moment I saw it, I could not believe how people are not doing this. I was like, how come for 17 years nobody told me? Like I was literally mad. Anyways, it's been a blessing. I've seen the world. I've seen so many places from Hawaii to, I mean, for me, Hawaii is a big deal. You know, as a German, that's what paradise is, right? And I'm super excited. I started a personal direct line in Hawaii yesterday, so it just keeps getting better. And anyways, it's amazing. I met great people, and it's just unbelievable. Thank you.
So we have a range of incomes. Well done. What's the best month you've ever had?
Well, my best month has been $100,000 in one single month.
Congratulations. Well done. Nikolai, introduce yourself to everyone.
Hey, my name is Nikolai. I'm from Norway, 24 years old. Last year I sat there as well, and this year I will watch my language because I use some words I shouldn't use. I don't want to use it.
I think it was a translation thing. I still do.
Maybe.
We just won't talk about the Porsche.
Of course I will talk about the Porsche.
Yes, okay.
In 2010 I was pitched to the first meeting. I was a student. The reason I attended the meeting was because she offered me a free lunch. After the meeting she drew some circles, and I wasn't the man running around screaming hallelujah and selling skincare products, so I told no. I said, no, I'm not doing this. I was a businessman. But after several meetings, 2 years, and in the summer in 2012, Camilla, the woman that offered me the lunch, she was heading for Italy, vacation, 3 weeks. And this time she didn't offer me a lunch, she offered me to borrow her Porsche for a summer. That was an amazing summer for me. But it was only one problem. I told my friends that the Porsche was mine. So my breaking moment was that summer. As I said, I was an economy student, and I was almost done that summer. And I knew I had a banking job. I knew where my income and 9 to 5, and that was my motivation, not to do that. And Eric visited Norway that summer and went through the 7 steps to go pro, and I just went all out, like Mike Sims said, for 90 days. That's my little story.
Yeah, and a year later, half the people in the convention were from his organization, 1 year after he made that decision. So well done, sir. Joe.
Hey guys, I'm Joe Valenzuela from San Diego, California, and I did not get a Porsche in starting out. My good friend that was sleeping on my couch, he was playing guitar at farmers markets, probably the only guy broker than me at the time, invited me out to look at an opportunity, and that's how I first looked at the industry. And for me, I had an auto detailing business, not because I was passionate about auto detailing. It was just mine. And before that, I had a little Christian surf snow skate clothing company. And I was always trying to do things that I could just do on my own schedule. And network marketing was just kind of the next thing to try to go do. And I started when I was 21 years old. And by the time I was 24, I was making almost as much as my dad. And that was really cool. And now at 28, you know, our best month is a little over $62,000 for the month. And hopefully beat that this month. But it's been amazing. I got to go to Germany and Hawaii. So and no, the travel's been great. The family time's been great, and the future's looking good. So.
And I didn't hear, what's your age?
28.
28. So we have 29. So next year, sorry, you can't be on this panel.
Senior citizen.
24 and 28. All right. Hayden from Minnesota, my hometown.
Hi, my name's Hayden Vavra. I'm 27, trying to fill the gaps in over here. I've really been in network marketing my whole life. I was blessed to grow up in a family that was what my parents did. And so I grew up with tapes and looking forward to product pickup night to see all my parents' friends. And, you know, so it wasn't something I had to be convinced of. But when the time came, I was done with college. I pursued professional football for about a year. And at that time, didn't work out, obviously. I'm here. Okay, so when I was done, I was really hurting financially. And I was pleasantly persuaded by this beautiful woman over here. I needed a way to pay off my student loans. If anyone can relate to that, it sucks, right? And that was the first goal. And now we're blessed to do this full time. Blessed to work with my partner in crime. A year ago, we went to Eric's 90-day game plan boot camp in Minneapolis. We were making about $200,000 a year, and now our biggest month to date is $103,000. So it's definitely pays off, that's for sure.
And I just want to let that sink in. That's $103,000 in one 30-day period, folks. One 30-day period. Pretty amazing. Emily.
Where's all my ladies at? Yeah. We got to get you up here. Where's the young ones, under 30?
Hey,
That's
they're all
like
a little
to
higher.
see.
Did you notice?
Yeah. Fired up. My name is Emily Vavra, and I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm 27 years old. I found this incredible profession when I was 23 years old. I was working 2 jobs, a massage therapist, and then I was also nannying, and I was completely burnt out. I would pray every night, God, what can I do for myself? What can I do for my life to expand, to grow? I'm living paycheck to paycheck, wage slave job. It just wasn't for me. I knew there had to be something more. So I was Facebook creeping this woman that was a friend of mine, 10 years older than me, and I saw her lifestyle. I saw her freedom. I saw the people she was hanging out with. She was always positive. And I was in this little dark massage room scrolling through. I'm like, whatever. I'm going to call her. I'm doing this. I didn't even know it was network marketing. I got signed up. That first year was Project Emily 101. My financial blueprint was 0. I was raised by a single mom with no money, hardship, even getting volleyball shoes my whole life. So that whole year was reprogramming my mind, changing my friends. Made about $30,000 the first year. Second year, $200K about. Hayden came in. We went to Eric Worre's plan and completely maxed out our minds, our life, and now we're just on fire.
What will you do this year? What will this year be in total, approximately?
In
2000, what is it, 14? We're 14? Yeah. 14.
A little over $1 million.
A little over $1 million.
A little over $1 million.
Yeah.
Million-ish. Brad Alcazan, my good friend Brad.
Hey everybody, I'm Brad Alcazan. I'm from San Diego, California, and just recently moved into Las Vegas, so excited about that. But been with one company. I had my 10-year anniversary a couple weeks ago.
How old are you now?
28.
28, so started right at 18. Mm-hmm. Man, not a lot of people can say 10-year anniversary at 28.
But my story, I guess, is a lot of turning points. I grew up with the dream of playing college basketball. Any basketball fans in the room? And that was kind of my passion. And then, a car accident kind of happened. So that kind of was a huge turning point in my life, and had to go home and find out really what the next thing would be. And I got into a traditional business, more in the home audio video, home theater. And so that was a great experience. I learned a lot of, different things doing that. And like you, just kind of got burned out, was doing, the same thing over and over. And I think the biggest thing, and maybe many of us here could relate, was the economy. The economy hit, and it definitely made a big difference in that business. So I had to make a change, and this industry, network marketing, was that next turning point. And I'm just blessed, fortunate, and thankful that I had that open mind. And for 2 years I didn't. I really kind of was, stubborn and hard-headed, for different reasons. But I think the biggest thing is the person, I am today is, much different from when I started. And I've just, like some of these guys, been able to travel. One of the biggest things I've enjoyed is we do a lot of mission trips to like Guatemala, and we've done a lot of different things like that. So definitely excited to be here, so hopefully to share some great information. Excited. Any young people in here tonight? But just, honored, privileged to be here, and what an amazing event.
So what's your best month ever?
About $250,000.
$250,000 in a month. So this year you'll do about, how much, 2014?
About 2.5.
2.5 million, 2.5, 2 3/4. So 2.5 million, man. I don't know where that puts you on the scale of the top 10%, 5%, 1%, but it's got to be like the 1% of the 1%, something like that. So anyway, all of you are doing tremendously well. Let's come back down to Danian. Pass him down the mic. The next question I want you all to think about is building as a young person. What have you experienced as to how do you build? How do you are you attracting other young people? Is that a choice that you've made consciously? Is it something that's just happened? What have you had to work on yourself in order to be able to build the organizations that you've built? Just kind of help the people out here that are, one, under 30 and wanting to emulate what you've been able to create, and two, the people in the organization that are over 30, they can look to pass those things on to the people that are in their group that are under 30. So just what's the journey been like, and what have you learned?
So that's an interesting question that's been asked many times when you're young. Like, do you only recruit young people, and how does it work and stuff? And so I first of all, I find that you always naturally attract who you are yourself. And I think everybody knows that. If you're a single mother, all of a sudden you have all the single mothers, and that's just the way it goes. But literally my business took off when I went out of that group. So I do have a lot of young people, But I find that people that have more experience in life, that they had businesses in life, that they had some financial success in life, makes business way easier. That's just my personal opinion. I do know we have some people that crush it with young people only. So for me, it was a journey on how can I be better? How can I be more? How can I grow my circle of influence? How can I, grow personally? That I have conversation with people that actually are 20 years ahead of me or 10 years ahead, and that been working out great. I have to say that.
Let me ask a question. How did you build the bridge to people of different age groups? Was it the parents or relatives of the younger people that you had naturally in your business? Did it start there? Did it start from you making a list of people who are older and going and having a conversation with them directly? Or was it a doorway from younger people to a more diverse group, or was it a conscious decision?
Well, what happened is, I don't know if that's duplicatable, but my fiancée is 10 years older, so that was one way. But besides that, it was a conscious decision to see, okay, I was thinking, okay, who are the people that I want to have in my business? What do they do? How do they spend their time? What do they learn about? Where are they going, And to do these things, like to go to those seminars, to go to these meetings, to go to the surroundings there. And then also, I find it's very easy to separate yourself from where you are right now if you just put in some personal development. Most people don't read books. Isn't that funny? Not in this room, but most people don't. And once you do, and once you start learning more, it just takes one book, and you're the smartest in the room. Most of the times, isn't that true? So I believe as a network marketer, what we can do is we can work on ourselves, and all of a sudden you're this interesting person to talk to for so many people, and then actually people realize, and then you hear that all the time, like, man, you don't even seem like whatever, 29, 24, 23, and that's one thing we did, or I did, yeah.
Great, thank you. But Nikolai, give him a round of applause. Good feedback.
I haven't met so many challenges between young and older people. I think we all believe in financial freedom will get you to a better life. So my only trick or tips for that is when I speak to my people or on a convention in our event, I try to speak to the oldest man in the room, always, to compare my language with that, not my language here, as you see last year, but when I speak, I try, like you said, read books, and books make you smart, actually. I learned that last year. Read books and listen to those who have done it before. That actually... I don't have more to add on that, actually.
Okay. Well, here's what I would tell you, and I give you credit because I know English is your second language. You do way better than I do speaking Norwegian, so thank you very much.
I hope so.
And I am Norwegian, but still, I will tell you a common theme when you see these successful people is they assume the position of authority with humility. Every one of them are humble, but they don't act small. A friend of mine wrote a book called Aspire, and he talked about these different words, and he analyzed these words, and one word was called genshai. And the word genshai means never to act in a way that would make another person feel small. I thought that was cool. But the real wisdom in genshai is to turn that back on yourself. Never act in a way that would make you feel small. Never treat yourself small. Never treat yourself as less than. You can be humble, but you don't have to act weak. You don't have to apologize for being 20-something. You don't have to apologize for not going to college. You don't have to apologize for not having success before or whatever, the challenges that you've had. You don't have to. But every one of these people do naturally. And what I learned to do, I learned to model the behavior of other people. Jeff Roberti, who you'll hear later, he was one of the guys that I modeled. He was a little bit older than me, not a lot older than me, but he seemed like he was 20 years older than me because he was so successful, so powerful. I played this game in my mind that I would act as if he would act in every business environment. I would walk in and carry myself the way he did and talk the way he did and answer questions the way he did and present the way he did in my mind. And I started to get some of the results that he was able to get by doing that. So here's what I'm saying to all the people under 30. You don't need to apologize ever for any of the things that your lack of experience, whatever, none of those things. If you come in and you just take control of the room emotionally, without being a bully or whatever emotionally, everything will be fine. You'll be surprised how much value you can bring to people. So Joe, your thoughts?
I think largely, I got started at 20, the month before I turned 21. And the hard part, I guess, for me starting out was all of my entire friends and everybody that I was around, they were all into like Taco Tuesday, Thirsty Thursday, Sunday Fun Day, like everything other than work. And so, getting into network marketing, all of a sudden, my fun time went way down. I was surfing a lot less and all this stuff. And all my friends, of course, were like, how's that thing going? Or are you still doing that stupid thing? Or that thing's ruining your life or whatever. And actually, one of the turning points for me was actually a conversation with my dad. And I was at a low point. I was about a year and a half into my career in network marketing. And I was actually more broke than I'd ever been. And I was 22. And I remember kind of breaking down and just saying, Dad, I'm so frustrated. Like, all my friends are getting to play and do all this stuff, and I'm over here just like working more than anybody I know, and this sucks. And he said, Joe, the real fun, the real party isn't Taco Tuesday, the Thirsty Thursday, Sunday. But the real thing is when you take your girlfriend to Aspen for the week. The real party is when you go to Hawaii, or you take your family to Germany or whatever, which we've got a chance to do that. My girlfriend's here somewhere. So I just bought her a flight to come out last night. And he was right. And, and it's funny because he also said, he's like, all those guys that you feel like you're missing out on so much with, just go catch up with them in a couple of years. Guess what they'll still be doing? Taco Tuesday, Thirsty Thursday. It's like, same deal. So that's probably the biggest thing. The last thing I'll say on that at all was, I feel like there's a lot of times like, okay, well, young people, like, how do I get young people? Or a lot of times, like, one of my biggest things, my biggest fears that I had to let go of early in my career was that I was too young. And I remember being 21 and thinking, nobody's going to listen to me. Nobody's going to take me seriously because, I had one suit that I wore for my homecoming in high school. And I put a bunch of different shirts and ties in there to pretend like I was okay. And I was like, no one's ever going to listen to me. And it's so funny because it was a conversation with a 26-year colonel in the military. It was a former CEO and a CFO of another company. And I'm 22, he's in his 60s. And he said, Joe, I would kill to be your age and go back and have this opportunity. And I said, man, I'd kill to be your age because everybody would listen to me. And then we started laughing, and he's like, I guess everybody just kind of has their own excuse. And for some people, I'm too tall, I'm too short, I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too whatever. And a lot of times in this profession, it's not so much about learning something new, but about just letting go of something old and just being ready to start fresh. So.
Very well said. Very well said. I like that so much. And I will tell you this, the one thing for a young person getting involved in this profession, if you're willing to learn this profession, if you're willing to work hard now, you can literally be done working for money by the time you're 30. You'll continue to work for purpose, contribution, meaning, legacy, all that stuff if you want to. Many people here in the room aren't here, they don't need the money. They're happy to earn it because it's a reflection of a lot of other things, of helping a lot of other people, but you could be done. Imagine being done working for money by the time you're 30. Imagine that. Now, in exchange, you're going to have to deal with your insecurities, and it's your insecurities. When you talk about nobody will listen to me, most of that is a projection of what you're putting out in the world. It's not the truth. If you stand a little stronger and you act a little bolder and you just come out and start telling the story, you go from being that kid to the whiz kid. You go from, that kind of that wonder. You heard about that young superstar versus that young whatever. I liked creating that young superstar persona in my 20s. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, Hayden.
I think, being young, one of the things we get caught up in is all those things, Taco Tuesday and whatever you call them, okay? What I had to figure out right away was I had to stop taking advice from broke and unhappy people. I had to stop hanging out with people that were broke and unhappy. Because if that's what you're constantly filling your mind with, that's all you're going to give out. And so we started to surround ourselves with people that wanted to give more, with people that wanted to add value to other people's lives, with people that wanted to have value added to their lives. And so, with the age question, we don't have just young people. We set out to have something where our team is filled with everybody. And if a young person didn't want to do it, we said, great, can I get your parents' contact information? I would love to give them a call. And we just kept moving on because we found that it doesn't matter what age you are. You have to have a burning desire. You have to have a desire to change. And no matter what age that's at, that's what's going to take somebody to the next level. That's what's going to take somebody from where they are right now to where they want to be. And so with what we do, we look at it as who wants it? Who wants it? Who wants it?
Awesome. Emily.
I enrolled my best friend's mom. She's a six-figure earner with us now. My best friend growing up, I was like, why don't you want to do this? Hello? And I let it go, went to her mom. Her mom's a six-figure earner, but now she wants the business a couple of years later, so it's timing for everyone. But if you're young building, realize that you're doing something different. You're getting personal development. You're filling your mind. You're surrounding yourself with amazing people who have done a lot for themselves. You're different. Different is cool. Different is good. You do not want to be mediocre, okay? And you may feel alone sometimes. I know when I started this, I was like, wow, everybody's going to happy hour. Everybody's doing all these party things. And I'm over here listening to T. Harv Eker, right? That's how I felt for a long time, but it paid off. Because now our life, we can do anything we want. We can give as much as we want. We can make crazy impacts on organizations because we took the time. But we lead by example. So just because your friends aren't building a business right now doesn't mean that you should act with them, be mean to them or be a jerk to them or be filled with ego. I believe that you should love everyone. You should lead by example because you know what? If you're young, a lot of them going to college, they were told to do that and that's all they know. That's all they see is mom and dad told me to do this, and then I'm going to get a job and I'm going to have 2 vacation weeks a year. That's all they know. So love them, lead by example, be an inspiration for them. We've got plenty of friends that are now working in cubicles. I can see it every time we meet up. All they want to discuss is the latest television show, and I have no clue what's on television, right? But we love them anyway, and they end up joining us.
All right. Brad.
I mean, I agree with everything that they said, spot on. I believe young people are impressionable. So when you talk to a young person, they're very open to new things, and I think they're very coachable as well. And I think the one thing that I found was when I first started in the business, I didn't really focus on young people. I didn't think they had the time. I didn't think they had the money, and which I found out was wrong because they'll find it for Xbox and Jordans and bags and different things. So obviously they'll find the money if they want to do the business. And I didn't think they'd take it serious because like you heard, they want to go out and party and do all these other things. But I think more than ever they can do. But I think other than that, I think the first few years, not working with young people really helped me, treat the business professionally. I was doing a lot more meetings, from 9 a.m. and noon and the early afternoon. And then just realize that some of the young people are going to tend to stay up late and they're going to be up at 9, 10 at night, on Facebook and stuff. So I think the biggest thing when you're talking about how young people can build an environment that young people want to be in, let them be in their own environment. And then they like to be around a lot of their friends. And if one friend can, really take this serious and their friends see that, that's going to attract a lot of other young people.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. I have one more question for all of you. And I'd like each of you to stand up and tell this room, give this room 1 minute or 2 minutes of inspiration, something that you believe they need to hear in order to be able to take their business and their lives to the next level. And we'll start with Damien. Go ahead, man.
Okay, so I believe that we can all do whatever we want to do. I believe that we have the choice, right? And sometimes we feel stuck in situations where we have things that we say, oh my God, what now? The only way out is this. Well, that's a lie. There's always a million ways out. And the reason why I tell this is because sometimes when you look at these things and you're like, oh my God, that's why I'm not growing. That's why I don't have where I want to be. That's why I don't have that team. That's why I don't have that prospect. And then you look at the problem. But if you look at the problem, it's never going to help you to actually overcome the situation. So one thing that I really want to give you is resourcefulness. Stay resourceful. That's one of the most important things. Because actually, when you really would ask yourself, okay, I understand this, but what could I do? Then just ideas pop up, stuff pops up. And then what I find is that don't think about it too many times, just go and do it, In the end, we all have to know one thing. To truly achieve what we really want is probably going to be harder than we thought it would be. That's at least what I think. I think it's going to be much harder than you think it is right now, but it's also going to be much more worth than you thought it's going to be. So, and that's why so many people will not make it. We just have to face and understand that true greatness in whatever, most people will not make it. So the question is, do you really want it? And what do you really want? And if you really want it, then you have to just find that moment. And that moment is not some mystical moment that something comes up. It's just you taking a decision. And I know you have heard that many, many times, but it really comes down to a decision. And it can be today, it can be right now. It can be the day that changes everything, that you say, right now, no longer, I do not accept where I am right now, where I'm going to be, that's what is important, and now I'm going to work my butt off. I'm going to do more than anybody I know, and in 1 year from now, what are people going to see when they see you? Who are they going to meet when they meet you? What is the person they're going to look at? Who are you going to be in a year from now? That's what should inspire you. And the last thing, a leader, he doesn't really look at what's right now. He always sees what's not there yet, And I understand there are so many people, they don't understand it. Maybe they don't even see the vision. But I want to tell you, it doesn't matter if your team sees the vision. Only matters is that your team believes that you believe in the vision. And then they will follow you if they trust you, okay? So go take a decision, work as you have never worked before in your life, and you can have anything you want. Thank you so much.
Nico.
Okay. It's me again. I'm always funny. The first thing, before I tell you something, is why. Why network marketing? They told about the tipping point. You see the documentary. Why should you do it? For myself, why not? This is not my best deal, or this is not my only option, but probably the best. Probably your best. And to succeed in network marketing, I think it's all about one thing. Be good to all people you meet. Give them self-confidence. That's the only reason why people join. The truth is always good enough. Thank you.
My buddy Steve is a stand-up comic, and he says it's like the worst job ever because every time you ask somebody, like, what do you do for a living? He's like, oh, I'm a comedian. He's like, well, tell me a joke, funny guy. So I kind of feel like this is where I'm at right now. Inspire us, network marketer. I'm like, okay. Here we go. Go ahead. So...
Don't worry, we'll judge you.
Right. Say something inspiring. So anyways, guys, if I can leave you guys with anything, I'll share with you. My reasons why I started and the reason why I've continued are very different today. My mom had me when she was 16. My dad was a construction guy, and we didn't have anything growing up. And so for me, like $100,000 a year was like literally unfathomable. I didn't know anybody that made that. So I met these rich guys that were making, you know, even $20,000 a month, and I was like a 1 out of gazillion, fake number. You know what I mean? Like, and it was just, I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? And then, you know, and then you start having a little bit of success, and you know, you just kind of keep trucking along. And there was one thing if I can actually, this is a good forum to give Eric credit. I was a year and a half into my network marketing career, and it was really the first time, and the only time, I guess, since then, I've ever genuinely thought about quitting. And I was negative $4,000 with the company. You could actually go negative. And, yeah. And I was in a place where I had nothing. I owed my mom $800, and everybody I kind of felt like was against me. My dad was always like, you know, I believe in you, but just don't talk to any of my friends about this. But my mom was always like, you're going to do it, babe. You know, my mom was always a big cheerleader, and I owed her $800, and I couldn't pay her, and she needed the money. And it was the first time that she just ripped me a new one and said, you know, this thing's stupid, you're stupid. You should just get a real job, and da-da-da-da. And I remember just breaking down in the shower and just having a rough time. And as the first time I was like, okay, I gotta either quit this thing and go do something else, or I gotta really give this everything I had. And I had never, honestly, if I was to be honest with myself, I had never really given it everything I had at that point. And I remember Eric training on this subject of a 90-day run, and I had pieced together, you know, working hard, playing, working. But I said, I'm gonna do 90 days. And I was 22 years old, and I put my head down. I got up 8 in the morning till 2 in the morning and just went crazy. And within 64 days, I was making $9,000, $10,000 a month. Everything changed. All my mom and dad, my dad's friends, like, talk to my friends about this. So it was finally good. And you know, today, the last thing I'll share with you is just, you know, where I'm at today is, you know, it's not about, you know, Eric says it all the time, is that what used to be amazing in our profession is now becoming like, all right, well, you know, get to work. So, you know, 6 figures a year, and now it's 6 figures a month, really, is kind of the bar. And so, you know, I'll share with you guys, every single person in this room, you know, someone has gone through what you've gone through. Where you're looking to go, for the most part, somebody's been there. And you can do this, absolutely. If you make the decision to draw your line in the sand, it's just a decision to go after it. And if you make that decision, you can have it. So, thanks.
Well done, Joe. Well done. All right. There are a lot of people when you stand up. I can see everybody here. This is great. But one of the things I really love about network marketing, okay, is you don't have to be Eric Worre. You don't have to be any of these people up here. You don't have to be anyone you saw speaking up here or that is going to speak up here. Okay, you get to literally take the best parts of yourself and emulate them. Okay, you get to be the best version of yourself. And with all the self-development that comes along with growing a business, growing a team, you truly become that. Okay? I mean, in college, I was sitting in a lab all the time. I never in a million years thought I would be standing up on stage, talking to anybody. Okay? I didn't really talk to a whole lot of people sitting in a lab. Okay? But know that, like all these guys said, you can do this too. Okay? And right now, what I really want to share is, how many of you in the audience are parents? You have little kids at home? Yes? Okay. I don't have any kids, all right? But I am the oldest of 7. I was blessed to grow up in a family that believed in network marketing, okay? In a family that did network marketing. And I want to speak to you as one of your children right now, okay? This is the single best profession that you could be doing, with the self-development that occurs, with the goal chasing that occurs, okay? With the dream chasing that occurs. Always being in that positive mindset, surrounding yourself with positive people, having CDs playing in the car, MP3s. That was a throwback for everybody. I'm a little more relatable, see? You have those CDs, those MP3s playing throughout the house, okay? Filling your mind and filling your kid's mind with positive energy, positive attitudes, okay? So you're growing this, but at the same time, you're building belief in your children that they can do whatever they want to do, that they can follow their passions. Okay, they can become something more. Okay, so I want to encourage all of you parents out there that you are 100% without a doubt in the right profession, doing the right thing. Do not ever quit.
Well done. Stay there, man. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Go ahead, sit down. Go ahead, sit down. I'm gonna have Emily go last since she's the only woman up here on the panel. I'm gonna have her close it out. But Brad,
right.
Al Kazan.
Anyway, the best thing I could share with you, I believe honestly in my heart, that there's no way this business will work for everybody else and not for you. And maybe today you're here and you're living in the past. So many times in my journey in building, I've been relishing on the past, on that person, or that team. And I think the one thing that you got to realize that one of my best friends says is you're 2 people away from your business exploding. And I've learned along the way it's a sorting process. And I truly believe that some of us are just, instant gratification. It hasn't happened. It hasn't, I met someone in my 5th year in the business, 5 years in, that was, that person that changed everything. So my point in being here today is, really look at your business. It can be a deck of cards. Shuffle the deck 2 through 8. You might get no's, a lot of no's, right? That 9 and 10, they might want to use the product or the service. But I really believe if you start to really look for the jack and queen, but realize that there's 4 aces in the deck, and if you turn over that one card, it could be that next ace. And that's where I really believe, you really, number one, I think, no matter where you are in the business today, if you're not right spiritually, I don't know about you guys, I'm very spiritual, and I truly believe things happen for a reason. So I thank the Lord and all the success and things that we've, been able to be blessed with. But if you're not right spiritually, you're going to struggle. If you're not right mentally, the personal development, that you got to have rhino thick skin because you're going to take a lot of heat. You're going to get a lot of people telling you this, that, and the other. And the best thing, and I think the most important, is you got to be right physically because this business is going to take a toll on you. Maybe that's something in 15 that you want to change, and I encourage you to really make that decision. But you guys, there's a lot of people in the world that are looking for something. There's a lot of people that need us. And I think that's the one thing that you got to realize is that, we do have a better way. A lot of people are frustrated in the economy. They're looking for answers. They're looking for ways to make money. But I think the one single thing that I can really attribute, some of my success and probably many of the people here is you've got to get, as good as the best you can at sharing your story. The one who tells their story the most wins. And if you get out there, you share your story, who you are, where you're from, your background, so people can relate to you. Maybe, who introduced you to what you're doing and why. He said it, the why will pull you through the rough times. I think that's something that you got to really solidify. But then share kind of, why you're in the business, why the company, and then really share why you're doing it, but what's in it for them. Because if you show enough other people, that this is a way for them to achieve their goals and dreams, you can achieve whatever you'd like. So you guys get excited, get fired up. 2015 can be your best year ever. Change the paradigm. Do something different that makes the old model obsolete, and I believe in you guys.
Well done, well done. Emily Vavra.
How we doing? Are you guys fired up? I'm like ready to go home and work already. I am. I'm so fired up. But why am I fired up? I know my why. We've made this incredible income. We could retire right now. We seriously could retire. We've maxed out our center. We've built leaders. But why am I fired up? Personally, because I have a lot of things on my agenda. There's a lot of people that need our help, you guys. There's a lot of people every single night praying for a solution. There's a lot of people out there lost. And we have the golden ticket. Like Willy Wonka, okay? You've got the golden ticket, but you've got to be brave enough. You've got to have the courage to go out there and share it. Do not be selfish with this. Do not, because we have a better way. All of them said it. Hayden said it. I watched him. We were in the same 3rd grade class, Hayden and I were. And as I told you, I was raised by a single mom, pretty much raised myself half the time. And I saw his dad come to recess, and he played all-time QB. And he was always around. And I longed for that in my heart. I was like, this family, you guys are always together. Think about that. Think about all the families out there. Think about the kids that are going to bed at night and somebody else is tucking them in. You know, think about the kids in college who have no clue why they're in college right now. They don't know what they're going to do when they get done. And for some of them, they're not going to have a solution. They're not going to have a place to go. So they're going to end up settling, right? Think about that. Our mission is so big, you guys. Let's go out there and make it happen. But it all comes back to knowing why you're doing this. So everyone, tonight, ask yourself, share it with somebody. Why are you doing network marketing? Why? Personally, for you. Because when the days get long and there's no after no after no, and you want to hang it up and you want to go to Taco Tuesday or whatever, okay? When that happens to you, you got to come back to your why. What pulls you? What drives you? Right now, what's driving me is retiring my mom. You know how freaking awesome it is to be like, here, Mom, here's some money. Here's a new bed. You know how awesome that is? That gets me more jacked than buying Louis Vuitton. For real. But that's my why, right? Find it. Find it. Put it on a vision board. Everybody in this room should have a vision board. Because you know what? You already know this, a lot of you. The times get tough. And you need to jack yourself up. So cut out pictures specifically. What do you want for your life? What do you see? Specific. Put it out there. Cast your vision and tell people about it. Some will laugh. Some will come with you. But don't be the person who gives up. Don't be the person that's not here next year. Do you guys promise me you'll be here next year? Let's do this. Thank you.
Well done. Give them all a big round of applause. Let's get a photo.